Long-term viewers, I know exactly what you're thinking, and no, this is not a rerun of that Taco Tuesday thing from a few years ago. It was Taco Tuesday, so I stopped at the grocery store to pick up a couple of things, but while I was checking out, apparently the lady at that register over there, apparently she was having a really difficult time, because as I'm standing there, I hear... Did she just say that? That Taco Tuesday thing, that happened at Kroger. And this very similar story happened at Walmart. Well, let me explain the whole thing. But first, as always, we start with our mission. Always remember, God created us for this time and for this place. If we learn this faith, if we live this faith, if we share this faith, what will the next 100 years look like? Join the mission. Honestly, when that Taco Tuesday event occurred, I was new to all this YouTube stuff, and I don't think that I effectively made my point in that video. So thank you to the Walmart cusser for giving me a second shot at this. So first of all, what happened? My wife and I, we get in the line at Walmart. When all of a sudden, while we're waiting for our turn, I see a sign up there by the register. It says, effective immediately. Customers will be limited to 3 cans of baby formula per purchase. Effective immediately. How about the tone of that statement? All you're trying to do is feed your baby, and Walmart says, effective immediately. What are we living in here? Is this the Soviet Union? Or these are like the communist breadlines just for babies. So I'm getting this idea for a video. I'm running this whole idea by my wife to see if she thinks that this might be a good idea. When all of a sudden, the dude behind me interrupts this entire train of thought with his emotional crisis. Have you ever heard the term triggered? I have, but I never really knew what it meant until my interaction with the Walmart cusser, which subsequently supplants the whole baby formula idea, becoming the subject of this present video. So communist baby formula idea? Maybe next video, but today, cussing dude, who is, by the way, riding in one of those rolling cart things. And maybe that should have indicated that there was some other issue. In hindsight, maybe I should have just been a bit more compassionate. But to suffice to say, the cart thing did not elicit any sympathy from me. What was cussing dude's problem? At first, I didn't know. Everything escalated so quickly that in order to make this video, I had to later repiece the entire series of events back in my mind. Apparently, the guy behind him triggered him by getting a little too close to him in line. So he erupts into... Now, just for clarity's sake, I don't go picking fights with dudes at Walmart all the time. But this time, I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing, and rather than ignoring the entire event, I went into dad mode. Which is okay if that happened to be my son. But he wasn't. He was just some dude in a rolling cart at Walmart. So he's cussing. The guy behind him says, I'm sorry, no offense, take it easy, guy. I don't want any trouble. And then he backs up, I guess to untrigger the guy, but it's too late. The guy is triggered. There's no going back now. He can't stop. He just keeps going. And that's when I go into dad mode and turn around and say, you better watch your mouth. He turns to look at me like I'm crazy. My wife did too. He looks right at me and says, you got a problem? I got a big problem with the way you're talking around all these ladies. And then we get into the stare down. And during the stare down, the dad mode unfortunately turned off, leaving me in Walmart shopping mode. You know, like in Superman 2 when Clark loses all of his powers and that trucker guy at the cafe beats the snot out of him. And that's when it occurred to me that if he were not sitting in that rolling cart thing, he probably would be a pretty big dude. So I made the decision to cut my losses and just slowly turn back towards the register and let this whole thing de-escalate. And for the moment, it was working. It was silent. No cussing, nothing. Maybe we can get back to this communist baby formula thing. When all of a sudden, he starts taunting me. So I turn around again, point directly at him and say,
"You know what? You've got a big mouth."
Probably shouldn't have said that because now I triggered him. So what does he do? He stands up. He points directly at me and then he kicks the air. That's it. He kicked the air. Now, coincidentally, while I was writing the script for this video, I got interrupted and I was sent on an errand. I was sent to get Chick-fil-A. Now, some of you are going to think that I'm making this up. I promise that it's true. This really happened. On the way to Chick-fil-A, I realized that I'm low on gas. So I stopped briefly to fill up and I notice the price on the pump. And again, the wheels start turning. I got another idea for a video. What are we living in? Is this some kind of communist utopia? Do you remember when Obama said that if he were elected president, energy prices would necessarily skyrocket? When all of a sudden, I hear her long before I see her. I look up from the pump, completely distracted from the whole communist thing, when all of a sudden, a car comes swerving into the parking lot and the woman whose voice I had heard from all the way down the street jumps out of the car, slams the door, goes inside the gas station, then comes out, gets back in her car and storms away. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Brad, I thought Nashville was a nice town. It used to be, but if you haven't been here lately, things have changed dramatically. Now, I do actually have a point to make in all of this, and that is to ask the question, who are we? I mean, are we no different from animals? Animal behavior is not characterized so much by choices, by moral decision making, but more so by stimuli, by responses to stimuli. If the animal smells food, it responds by eating. If the animal is afraid, it responds by fleeing. Is that what we are? Is that the mentality behind this trigger thing? I mean, you tell me, am I taking this properly? Because if that's true, then that explains our approach to everything. When we have a problem, currently we're dealing with the issue of violence. Is the person committing the act of violence, is he making a moral choice to do good, or in this case to do evil? Or is he just responding to his personal exposure to stimuli in his environment? You're too close to me, so I'm triggered. If that's the case, then we should pass laws which make certain stimuli illegal. So it's against the law to stand close to people in the checkout line at Walmart. Is this where our society has devolved? People are just animals, and laws serve kind of like cages for the animals, preventing them from this stimuli or from that stimuli. It wasn't that long ago that we viewed humans not as animals, but as moral agents who discern good and evil in the world around them. They choose the good, they avoid the evil. They choose to help the old lady cross the street or to give some change to a homeless person, and they reject cussing, stealing, murder. As moral agents, we are capable of making moral choices, and we are culpable for our actions. The value of a law, first and foremost, is that it serves to teach people what is right and what is wrong. It is wrong to kill. Therefore, it is against the law to kill. It is wrong to steal. Therefore, it is against the law to steal. But if right and wrong become subjective, and a man is just an animal responding to stimuli, then we will end up creating laws directed towards objects rather than evil behaviors. We will criminalize things that are not in of themselves intrinsically evil, like standing next to someone at Walmart. Until we acknowledge that people have free wills, and that they use their free wills to choose to do good, or in some cases to do evil. Until we acknowledge this, the reality of human nature, the laws that we pass will be pointless and ineffective. It's time that we stop looking towards Washington to fix all of our problems with laws and start looking towards their actual source, where evil actually originates, in the hearts of us men. It was Taco Tuesday, so I stopped at the grocery store to pick up a couple of things. But while I was checking out, apparently the lady at that register over there, apparently she was having a really difficult time, because as I'm standing there, I hear... Did she just say that?